Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Hello everyone. In my new column for ThePrint, I write about Beijing's reaction to the new Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. Chinese state media believe that Kishida is a dove when it comes to relations with China. They believe that he is from a moderate faction of the LDP party in Japan, and therefore he might take a different course of action vis-a-vis China. Chinese state media toned down the anti-Japan rhetoric ahead of the elections. The Chinese state media and Beijing hope that Kishida may not continue his predecessor's policy when it comes to Taiwan and Indo-Pacific security. China's relations with Japan are shaped by the history of Second World War, when Japan invaded China, and that history continues to inspire movies and other types of propaganda in Beijing. And similarly, there's the other influence of Japanese media and culture on Chinese youth, which is something Beijing is really concerned about. So the central government in Beijing has developed their own manga and other types of animation-based propaganda to veer the Chinese youth away from the kinds of influence that the Japanese media has on Chinese youth. And this history has been out there in the international media. And during the elections, we did not see the use of propaganda that China may use in the past. And we have seen a more toned down, a more calm tone from Beijing towards Japan, in a hope that the Japanese politicians don't move towards the US, and the Sino-Japanese relations are not shaped by the broader conflict and the competition that's going on between the US and China. So Beijing hopes that Kishida takes a different approach from his successor. Chinese experts have expressed their opinion that Japanese politicians are facing domestic crises, and Kishida will have to deal with the crisis that is currently underway in Japan, and he may not be able to take on the kinds of policies that Suga had embarked on by collaborating with the US and working closely with other allies through Quad. And that's the hope Beijing has, that they are able to influence Kishida in some way. But if we read closely between the lines, the relations between China and Japan entirely depend on Beijing's own reactions towards Taiwan and the Taiwan Strait relations, where if Beijing pushes the line and tries to take a hard line on Taiwan, Japan will have to react to the sort of behavior we've seen over the past days, where the PLA sent in large number of jets across the Taiwan Strait. And that is exactly why Japan has drawn a line and called for stability in the Taiwan Strait. And they consider that this sort of stability within the region is also important for Japan, because if there is a war, if there is a conflict within the region, that will also influence Japan. And therefore, Kishida's own policies will directly depend on Beijing's own behavior, and therefore he does not have a room to maneuver his policies based on what Beijing wants, and therefore Beijing may have to take a different approach towards the relations with Japan.